We recently made some videos talking about the noise canceling headphones for dogs that we found on the internet. And I thought it might be helpful to make a video talking about what I do recommend for my clients who are noise sensitive or noise phobic. So if your dog has struggled with the fireworks or a lot of areas are getting a lot of storms right now, I know here where I am we're getting thunderstorms like every day, or if your dog just generally struggles with noises, this video might help you out. So first and foremost, noise sensitivity is highly correlated to pain. We often see pain and noise sensitivity appear together. So if your dog is suddenly escalating in their sensitivity to noise, if you are seeing noise phobia appear sort of out of nowhere for the first time, or just if this is something that has been going on for a while, check in with your vet. There are a lot of different ways that we can try to figure out if pain is a factor. Remember that 1 in 5 dogs over a year old have arthritis, and that goes up to 80% of dogs over 8 years old. The first signs of pain are often behavioral. You're not going to see, unless it's very severe acute pain, you're not going to see things like limping or a lack of interest in activities they once loved until things get much more severe. And sound phobias are often some of those first behavioral signs. While you're talking with your vet, you can also talk with them about event medication. Event medications are medications that we use for acute stress events most commonly, and they can be sedating, and that is in place of the panic attack that your dog would be having otherwise. One thing that can get really tricky, particularly when you have a dog who is phobic of thunderstorms, is the timing. A lot of event medications take a couple of hours to kick in, and so if you are surprised by a storm, or if the chances of a storm are low and you're not sure if you want to give the event medication, sometimes we end up with a dog who is prescribed event medication, but they're not using it for the storm. It doesn't kick in time, or by the time it does kick in, because they're already panicked about the storm, it's not as effective. There are options out there that take effect in as little as 15 minutes and are specifically for noise phobias. So if you're running into that issue, talk with your vet about those other options. There are also environmental things that we can do to lessen the severity of the panic that your dog feels around noises. First up, please know you can comfort your dog. Comforting your dog is not going to reinforce fear any more than comforting a child is going to reinforce their fear. It's important to recognize how your dog finds comfort. Some dogs are going to want to be snuggled up close. They may enjoy calm, slow, careful petting or massage. Other dogs are not going to want to be touched, but they may want you nearby. Some dogs might get even more overstimulated by hearing you talk. Some dogs might enjoy hearing you talk to them in a soothing, calm voice. Location can be everything, so you may want to be in the quietest part of your house. And can we make that space even more quiet? Is this a noise where maybe it's helpful to push a towel under the door, to close the windows, to turn on a box fan, or some brown or pink noise, some white noise? For thunderstorms and fireworks particularly, you can play, I might mispronounce that, this taiko drums, Taiko drums, kind of sound like thunder, kind of sound like fireworks, and so you can play that, and then the booms aren't as intense, they're not as much of a contrast, so that can be really helpful for dogs particularly struggling with those sudden loud booming noises. If your dog is struggling with, say, hearing other people talking, you could try an audio book. I saw that tip recently and I was like, oh, I am adding that to my toolkit. So play around with what you're using to muffle the noise, because some noise muffling options are going to be better for different sounds. You can also, going back to the conversation we were having, you can also try things that cover the ears. We have lots of options that work by lessening the intensity of the sound. So we have like happy hoodies or mutt muffs. As always, acclimate your dog to the gear before just putting it on them, and make sure that they're not just shutting down with the gear on their head. They should be able to do normal dog things while wearing the gear. We were also in the other videos talking about some noise canceling options, some noise canceling headphones, and you can find more information about that in the other videos. So offering your dog a safe place that can involve the noise masking, offering them a safe relationship, comfort. You can also see if your dog's stress levels are low enough that they can eat or play. Eating and playing can be great ways to calm down. Licking, sniffing, and chewing specifically can help lower those stress levels. So can they engage with a nice chew? Can they do a snuffle mat? Can they do some nose work? Can they engage in personal play with you? Can they enjoy like a licky mat? And then more in the long term, certainly if your dog is struggling with these loud noises, talk with a behavior professional. There are things that we can do ahead of time to make your dog less scared, to change their emotional response to sounds, to give them additional coping skills when they are stressed, to increase their resilience so that when stressful things happen, they bounce back faster. And so if your dog chronically struggles with loud noises, if they're noise sensitive, if they're noise phobic, talk with an evidence-based behavior professional who can help you out. Remember, we want to stay away from any suppressive or aversive methods. Suppressing the behavior does not change the emotion. It just leaves you with a dog who is still scared but unable to express themselves. So make sure that you're working with someone who follows best practices, but reach out for that support.